Redding's vice mayor is weighing in on a potential new sales tax measure in Shasta County. Plus, new at 6, the suspect in the ABC 10 TV station shooting in Sacramento is now charged with a separate shooting the day before. What legal analysts say about whether they could be connected, and new developments regarding progress being made on a water tank construction in Orland. We'll show you when it could be completed.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
We are following up on a story we told you about yesterday regarding Measure A in the city of Redding, an initiative to raise the sales tax by 1%. Action News Now reporter Blake Mayfield is live at Redding City Hall. And Blake, the vice mayor there spoke to you about today that he supports it.
That's right, Alan. Mike Lataw, the vice mayor, told me that he supports the measure. That way the city won't have to make any employee cuts. He says even if the city did fire its top officials like city manager or police chief, they'd only save about $2 million a year. 30% of the money that might potentially be made from the additional tax would be used for road improvements. Lataw told me that areas like Victor Avenue need a total rebuild and that due to limited funds, the city is holding off on fixing it until the next fiscal year. He says right now, $4 to $5 million a year is being spent on road improvements, but he'd like to see that number go up to $15 million a year, with Measure A possibly generating the extra $10 million the city's looking for. Lataw says if Measure A is not passed next month, it could mean as many as a dozen firefighters and police officers would be fired in order to balance the budget. He says if that were to happen, it would only save the city about $2 million.
We fired our police chiefs, fire chief, city manager, assistant city manager, all our directors, which wouldn't be a great thing to do. We'd probably only get back about $2 million in our budget. So again, that's a drop in the bucket if we're really searching for $10 million a year that need to go to our roads. And that's a really big priority. We have to find more money for our roads.
$7.25% to 8.25%, which the city says will generate an extra $30 million a year. It would also help the city not run into the same situation it did last year when it was facing a $5 million deficit until the new fiscal year budget was passed. And the special election for Measure A to go along with Prop 50 will take place on Tuesday, November 4th. Reporting live in Redding, I'm Blake Mayfield, Action News Now.
Thank you, Blake. Due to being a citizen-led initiative, Measure A only needs 50% plus 1 to pass. New at 6, we now know when the man accused in the cold case murder of Terry Arndt in Boerne in 1984 will head to trial. Roger Schmidt will be back in court November 13th for a settlement conference. Then we'll have a preliminary hearing December 18th. He pleaded not guilty and is being held without bail. Also new, Matthew Glukowski pled not guilty to 10 charges of child sex abuse materials and possession of illegal guns. He'll be back in court October 8th and 9th for a preliminary hearing in Shasta County. And a judge ruled that the man arrested from a mass stabbing in Redding last year was sane at the time and rejected his plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. Christopher Witcher is accused of stabbing and killing a woman near the Market Street Manor Motel. He'll be back in court October 20th and is expected to withdraw his plea. Now a live look from the Alert California Hay Fork camera looking out over Trinity County. Just another beautiful scene over our end of the state, Howie.
Beautiful, beautiful shots, no matter it's raining, fogging, clear, sunny, windy. Beautiful, beautiful shots, Alan. This view, for the most part, in those higher elevations, we are seeing rain, but it is really getting as weak as possible before completely disappearing probably in the next several hours as these storms continue to pull away. Now, there's a few areas near Shingletown. Let's zoom in there where we had some isolated thunderstorms. I'm still seeing that. They do seem to be weakening. We are seeing some lightning strikes, though, but not super strong storms, but there are some areas of heavy rain in the vicinity of Shingletown, so you want to keep an eye on that area if that is the location you are in. Temperature-wise, still below average today, but a little bit warmer as we made it into the low. In some spots, the upper 70s. Wind-wise, we stayed on the light side. Humidity-wise, they're coming down, but still moisture very good to help us stop fires or help us keep them on the low side. And tomorrow is looking to be the same. Even though we'll be a little bit windier, we'll keep it for low for significant fire risk potential. We're going to dry off and warm up even further, Alan. We'll talk all about that in a few minutes.
Thanks, Howie. The construction on the water tank on 6th Street in Orland is more than halfway complete, but the city is still overcoming some challenges to get it finished. Action News Now reporter Shade Pullen shares with us what those challenges are and how the city is navigating them.
The Orland water tank is now officially 70% complete, with the expectation to be fully done by summer of 2026. It will allow people with wells in Glenn County to connect to Orland's city water system. Over the summer, crews worked on welding and assembling the tank along with painting. Joe Goodman, the Orland city manager, tells me that crews are now working on the mechanical and electrical portions.
During this summer, so it's been a phased approach. This summer they were working on the main lines on the west side of town, and connecting. Currently, they're moving forward with connecting residents to the main lines that were installed. That was the phased approach.
Goodman tells me that there have been delays with the control system. The city is still waiting for certain parts to come in so it can fully run. Along with that comes the look of the tank, which is also essential for completion.
We are going to leave it green. There was discussion about other colors, and that this was brought to us by, I think, an architect to basically fit in more with the natural landscape. We're planning to do a fence around it with trees and shrubs, and that color will help it blend in.
Goodman tells me that the $16.7 million project is being funded by the Department of Water Resources. He says the DWR is giving the city until the end of February to complete most of the project to qualify for reimbursement.
February, so all work that has been completed by the end of February will be reimbursed. And we do anticipate there being a little bit of work complete after that, but that'll be covered by, we're looking into different grants and funding sources right now to cover that.
Reporting in Orland, I'm Shade Pullen with Action News Now.
The new Orland water tank has been in the works for 5 years now. The idea came when people's wells started drying up. New developments now more than 12 years after the remains of a woman were found by an Anderson Cottonwood Irrigation District work crew. Those remains have finally been positively identified. The remains were discovered in March of 2013 behind the State Fish and Wildlife Building near the Locust Street Bridge in Redding. Chico State's forensic anthropologist team was called in, but DNA sampling failed to identify a match in missing and unidentified persons databases. In 2023, the Shasta County Coroner's Office did partner with Othram Incorporated, a laboratory specializing in forensic genetic genealogy, and they were able to tentatively identify the remains as those of Velma Louise Silva Lee of Napa. But then a Redding police detective contacted her son, who said the family had unsuccessfully tried to find her. He provided that detective with his own DNA, which turned out to confirm that that was indeed his mother, and that positive identification has been made. The family is now working with the Shasta County Coroner's Office to finally lay her to rest. An Oroville teenager was sentenced today for murdering a man 2 years ago. Even though Dakota Elliott is now 19, he will serve 7 years in a juvenile detention facility because he was 17 at the time of the crime and was tried as a juvenile. Elliott was convicted in September of shooting and killing 20-year-old Ronnie Frazier in May of 2023. District Attorney Mike Ramsey tried to have Elliott tried as an adult because of his violent history, but the Butte County Judge, Jesus Rodriguez, denied that. Judge Rodriguez found Elliott guilty of murder after a 3-day trial and today sentenced him to serve 7 years in juvenile hall, which is the maximum allowed. New at 6, the man accused of shooting into the ABC 10 TV station in Sacramento is facing new federal charges. Anibal Hernandez Santana is now accused of firing his gun the day before as well in a school zone. The 4 counts now also include possession of a gun in a school zone, interference with a radio communication station, and criminal forfeiture. Legal analysts say right now it's unclear if the charge against him from the day before was at all connected to the shooting at ABC 10.
There's some separate evidence that came before the government's attention where they believe that he was in possession of a gun on a different day than the shooting in a school zone. We know that ABC 10 is located in the school zone. We don't know for sure that this was the same location.
The FBI arrested Hernandez Santana at his home following the ABC 10 shooting, which was the day after protesters surrounded the building after ABC suspended Jimmy Kimmel for including a joke in his monologue over the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Coming up new at 6, how much a mistake on California voter guides could cost taxpayers. But first, happening now, an Oktoberfest celebration is kicking off in Chico. We'll show you what's in store.